I call to order the Riverview Community School District Board of Education regular meeting for January 24th, 2023. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Board,
Here.
Vice President Dominski.
Here.
Secretary Walker here. Treasurer Davis.
Here.
Trustee Meeks.
Here.
Trustee O'Brien.
Here.
Trustee Toth.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Our first part of the meeting is a couple of presentations. Superintendent Hatzel, it looks like here we have something about Board Appreciation Month.
Yes, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. This is the first meeting of the calendar year, and we welcome our new board. Although mostly familiar faces, Mr. O'Brien has returned from a hiatus to join us, so thank you everyone. January represents School Board Appreciation Month in the state of Michigan. And I'd like to take this time to give a moment of well-deserved recognition to our Board of Education. The 7 members sitting here tonight, Mr. Bohr, Mr. Dominski, Mr. Davis, Ms. Walker, Mr. Toth, Ms. Meeks, and Mr. O'Brien, have dedicated a great deal of their time to help in making Riverview schools the very best. So frequently, they're unfortunately highlighted during times of trouble, but tonight we would like to celebrate all they do behind the scenes that helps our students, staff, and families succeed. Their collective insight and support to our district's governments is very critical and unfortunately too frequently goes unrecognized. However, this evening I want to personally, and on behalf of all the Riverview families, Riverview staff, and Riverview students, give you a giant thank you and present you with a small token of our appreciation. So thank you. Again, a special thank you to the board for all they do to serve the community.
Well, thank you, Superintendent Hatzel, for the kind words and appreciation. I have a few words to share. I'm going to save till later in the meeting so that we can eagerly see the next presentation, which is our elementary building leaders presenting us with some proud work of our elementary kids.
All right, tonight we welcome our elementary students and leadership team from all 3 of our Riverview elementaries. First, from Forest Elementary, we have Miss Melly.
Let me use this mic. I have 2 helpers here tonight, both in our first grade at Forest Elementary. I have Livy and Gianna. So we have many charity events that we host at Forest Elementary, and one that we're most proud of this year was our Penny Wars, or Coins for Caring. This is a community outreach. Forest Parent Club sponsored this in November. The funds raised will go to C.S. Mott Children's Hospital Save a Heart program. This charity has a special connection to Forest Elementary, as one of our students' sister, Gianna and Pink's sister, was born with congenital heart disease and spent years as a patient admitted to Mott's Children's Hospital until she was at last able to come home, yet passed away this summer. Did you want to hold her? There you go. Gianna has the picture of her sister Valentina there, and it's also in your packet. We raised the students raised $1,500 for this charity. And if you look at your next picture, that's a picture of Livy bringing an entire suitcase full of coins. And so her class came out on top and definitely contributed to that $1,500 that we could gladly share with that organization. Also, every year, Mrs. Garnetti, who is also Gianna's mom, makes family gift bags for the Congenital Heart Center at C.S. Mott Children's Hospital for Christmas. This year we were able to add in all of the cards that Forest students made at the Jubilation event. It might seem like a little thing to you, but these parents of hospitalized children were brought to tears by the sweet words and drawings. So thank you to all of our students for doing that at our Cookies for Santa event. Thank you to Livy and Gianna for being here tonight.
Thank you, Miss Melly and girls, and all of Forest for their support of a great cause, so thank you. Next, we have Miss Maxon from Memorial Elementary, and some of her students have joined her tonight.
We are excited. Thank you. We're so excited this school year to start back with our mentor groups at Memorial. And so part of Memorial's leadership team, we've spent so much time focusing on literacy and having those books in our hands and sharing books. And so we decided, as the leadership team decided, that they wanted to make sure that not only did we focus each month's mentor group meeting on a positive character trait, but also associating that project and the learning with a book. And so the students, we're going to have you guys come right up here. They had a book. They're each going to share the 4 books so far that we've covered this school year. We still have a few more months to go. But they have a little bit of a book review that they're each going to do and just share with you what they've learned from the books and why they were so special to them.
Hi, my name is Remy McLaughlin, and this is a book I am reading. It's called A Friend Like You by Frank Murphy and Sharnae Gordon, illustrated by Kayla Herron. What I really like about this book is it's a really good influence for little boys and girls, and it also teaches important lessons for big kids. This book has taught me how to be a better person and a better friend and ally to other people. This book has taught me to be a curious, accepted, open-minded, flexible, forgiving, kind, and thoughtful friend, all of which are really important. My favorite part was the last page of the book. I thought it was a great message to remember. It says, one day you'll notice you weren't just having fun, you were making memories. Memories are something that last forever, and so are the friendships that we make at school. This book is not a good book, it's a great book.
We have Lily, and her brother Liam is here too.
Hi, my name is Lily, and the book I am sharing with you is called The Power in Words. The author is Megan Axel. What I really like about this book is it teaches us to use kind words. The problem in the story is if you use unkind words, you can hurt your friend's feelings. It teaches me to be a better person because if I give other people compliments, it makes me feel good too. My favorite part in this book was when I drew a girl draw cats and her friend said she did a good job. I like this page because it reminded me of my cat.
Hello, Board of Education. My name is Liam Neifert. In mentor groups, we read a book called A Little Spot of Kindness. It's written and illustrated by Diane Alber. It's about a spot who teaches the kids to be kind. Some examples are being polite, apologizing, helping others, being patient, and cleaning up after yourself. The thing I liked about this book is the theme. I think sometimes we all need a reminder to be kind. And this book tells us some simple but very important days we can brighten someone's day. Hey, and maybe even our own day too. Thanks for listening.
Hello, my name is Ray Gordinsky, and I've been reading Even Superheroes Have Bad Days, written by Shelley Becker. What I really like about this book is the illustrations. The problem in the story is the characters get mad and then later on they calm down. Who are the main characters? The heroes. How did this teach me to be a better person? To calm down when I'm mad. My favorite part of the story was when the heroes throw all the cars around because it is very funny. Thank you.
Even across several states.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You did awesome. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Ms. Maxon and Memorial students. Great job. And last but not least, Ms. Munoz and some of her students from Huntington Elementary School. If you need it, yeah. As long as you don't stand right in the middle.
All right, you guys, here, why don't we all just go up here?
Stay a little off center. Is that right there? Just right here.
Stand here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right here, just not in the middle.
Hi. Thank you for having us here tonight. We are going to talk about some of the charities that we support and donate to at Huntington. So we have Tegan, Nolan, Victoria, and Elliot here tonight. All right, I don't know. See, we could go back there if you want. All right, thank you. And thank you to all the families for bringing them here tonight, and to Mrs. McCarthy, who is one of their teachers who came to see them tonight. So you're going to start us off, Tegan.
Hello, my name is Tegan Bunch, and I will be presenting on Toys for Tots. Key Club at the high school organized Toys for Tots for the district this year. Toys for Tots is a program run by the United States Marine Corps Reserve, which distributes toys to children whose parents cannot afford to buy them gifts for Christmas. So this year we collected toys at Huntington and sent them over to the high school. Hi, I'm Elliot, and I will be talking about the Little Seed Farm and Animal Sanctuary. This year, 4th and 5th graders learn about compassion for special needs rescue animals. We create buttons and stickers for a fundraiser to help support the animals there. Some teachers had giving boots during the holidays for students to fill with loose change to help the animals. In total, we made $277.
Hello, my name is Victoria, and I will be talking about the Lemonade Wars. Every year, fourth graders read the book Lemonade Wars. This book is about two siblings that have a lemonade war to see who can make the most money over the summer. As part of their final project, they made homemade lemonade to raise funds for different charities. Last year, we donated money to the Little Seed Farm and Animal Sanctuary.
Hello, my name is Nolan, and I will be presenting Jump Rope for Hearts. In 2 weeks, Huntington Elementary will be kicking off the Kids Heart Challenge. Students in the gym class will be moving their bodies and getting their hearts pumping through jump roping activities. Students will also be learning about the importance of heart health, which includes exercising, getting enough sleep, fueling our bodies with proper nutrients, and drinking plenty of water. All the donations raised will go to the American Heart Association. We will be talking about the hat and mitten tree. Every year, Huntington has a hat and mitten tree where families donate to students that are in need.
So, students at Huntington are able to get these items when they need them in the winter.
We also participate with a couple local churches, and every Friday, the churches donate non-perishable food items for some families that are in need. They call it the Weekend Backpack Program, since families pick up the donation after school on Fridays. So we're very happy to be part of helping in the community and helping to support different organizations, and we get very excited doing all this, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right, well, what do you guys say? Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Do we need to pass those out?
No, we're good. Thank you.
I wish to thank all the kids for coming in tonight, and I want to say bravo for all their hard work and their accomplishments, their charity work, their citizenship, their care and giving, their love of learning and reading is clearly evident. I want to also thank our elementary principals for helping them come in tonight, and they just had a natural stage presence here with the board. I want to thank Ms. Melly, Ms. Maxon, Ms. Munoz for helping the kids and arranging them to come in tonight, and to help give the board an amazing sense of pirate pride throughout our district. Our last couple meetings in the last few meetings have had a lot of pride. Last fall, we had our high school accomplishments academically. We had our fall sports teams. And really today, to see the updates from the elementary schools gives us a lot of pride, inspiration, and energy for us as board members. Thank you again. Next, we'll move on to guest and visitor comments for the 2-minute session. The purpose of the public participation portion of the meeting is to provide an opportunity for the citizens to share their thoughts with the board. Personal concerns are best handled through proper channels. Questions requiring investigation will be referred to the superintendent for consideration. Are there any guest and visitor comments for the 2-minute session? Seeing none, we'll move on to acceptance of agenda, item A5. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Vice President Dominski.
be it resolved, the Review Board of Education accepts the agenda for the January 24th, 2023 regular meeting.
Motion by Vice President Dominski. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Davis. Any discussion? Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Treasurer Davis,
Yes.
Vice President Dominski,
Yes.
Trustee Toth,
Yes.
President Bohr,
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes, Trustee O'Brien,
Yes.
Trustee Meeks.
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to consent grouping, item A6. I will make the motion. Be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education accepts the minutes of the December 13th, 2022 special meeting, the minutes of the December 20th, 2022 regular meeting, approves the check registers, approves the purchase card expense reports, and approves the hiring of new custodial personnel, approve the 23-24 Riverview High School course selection guide, and approve the extension of the superintendent contract as all contained in the consent grouping. Do I have support?
Support.
Supported by Vice President Dominski. Any discussion? Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Vice President Dominski.
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Trustee Toth.
Yes.
Trustee Meeks. Yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien.
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to board updates for administrative comments, legislative reports. Superintendent Hatzel.
Good evening. Ellie could not make it tonight. She just had a couple things. Reminder to parents at the high school that the second round of parent-teacher conferences are February 1st from 4 to 7. We really appreciate your support, and come on out and meet your trimester 2 teachers. Her second note was that winter sports are close to their midway point. The Pirate teams are doing very well, so get out and support our Pirate student athletes and enjoy some contests this winter. Again, I want to echo my thank you to the elementary administration, their entire staff, the students and the families. As you can see in Riverview, we support the growth and education of the whole child. As President Boer alluded to, we've talked about academics in this forum, we've talked about athletics in this forum, and then tonight it's great to hear about some charity and character and community outreach that we continue to grow great all-around, well-rounded citizens here in Riverview Schools. So thank you for all who came out. Legislative update, I mentioned on the December meeting with the new seating of the entire Democratic House, Senate, and Governor. We're watching closely. Tomorrow is actually the day we will begin action as the Governor makes her State of the State address tomorrow evening. We expect some pretty quick action after she makes her highlights tomorrow. Some things on the educational front that we're going to be paying very close attention to is some potential scaling back of the third grade reading law, potential adjustment to teacher evaluation, and potentially also Michigan's status as a right-to-work state. Locally, we continue to seek proper funding for special education and some of the social-emotional learning elements that have been added and needed to help our students again be more well-rounded. And we do want to thank our partners at Wayne Risa for their continued efforts to help us find those well-needed dollars and support our most vulnerable students. So that's all the updates I have. And again, we're hoping to have Ellie back in February.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Next, we'll go on to new business. Item A7, Budget Amendment Number 1 for 2022-2023. Do I have, Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
During the school year, the operating budget is reviewed and amended as necessary. The Director of Business and Finance has reviewed the 2022-2023 budget with the Superintendent and the Finance Committee and is recommending that certain adjustments be made at this time. Attached is the general fund budget, statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance for fiscal year 22-23, Amendment Number 1. Is the recommendation of the Superintendent and the Director of Business and Finance to adopt the general fund budget amendment Number 1 for fiscal year 22-23 as presented.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Boer.
Secretary Walker?
Be it resolved, the Review Board of Education adopts the 2022-2023 General Fund Budget Amendment Number 1 as presented.
Motion by Secretary Walker. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Meeks. Any discussion? I would like to thank Mr. Draper for coming tonight to be available for any questions, should the board have had any, and also sharing some good background on the material presented to the board. to help us understand that. Hearing no other discussion, Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
President Bohr?
Yes.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Item A8, depository resolution. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
The school district annually designates its bank record, account signatories, and banking procedures. The attached resolution authorizes continued banking operation. It is the recommendation of the superintendent and the director of business and finance that the attached depository resolution be adopted.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Trustee Meeks?
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education adopts the depository resolution as attached.
Motion by Trustee Meeks. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Toth. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
President Bohr?
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
Item A9, Investment Authority Resolution. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
The Board of Education annually adopts a resolution authorizing the deposit and investment of school district funds by delegating the responsibility to the appropriate administrators. A copy of the resolution is attached. Both the superintendent and director of business and finance should be authorized to make investments on behalf of the district. It is the recommendation of the superintendent and the director of business and finance that the attached resolution for investment authority be adopted.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Trustee O'Brien?
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education adopts the attached resolution for investment authority authorizing the Director of Business and Finance and Superintendent to make investments on behalf of the district as presented.
Motion by Trustee O'Brien. Do I have support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Meeks. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Secretary Walker, yes. Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
President Bohr?
Yes.
Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to item A10, Approved Forest Rooftop Unit Installation. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
As part of the forest rooftop HVAC unit replacement project, we developed and advertised an RFP for the installation of the 2 units that are on order. We received one bid for the amount of $177,593. While expensive, this was still less than we had expected and anticipated, and includes the cost of the Siemens controls and the crane expense. The bid proposal is attached. The project will be funded by ESSER funds and a turnkey project with the selected vendor performing the installation. After reviewing the bid is the recommendation of the superintendent, director of finance, and the director of operations that the company of Gee and Missler be awarded the project for a sum not to exceed $177,593.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do we have a motion?
President Bohr,
Vice President Dominski?
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education approves the installation of the forest rooftop units to Gia Missler not to exceed $177,593.
Motion by Vice President Dominski. Do I have support?
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Davis. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
President Bohr?
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Item A11, Approve Final Site Contract.
Background, as a school district, we constantly seek to improve communication with our families and service our community. Upon review of several different website offerings, it is the recommendation of the technology coordinator, the superintendent, and the director of finance that the website Final Site be awarded the host for our district website, riverviewschools.com. Final Site would replace the existing website provider. It is much needed, friendlier back-end user experience for the non-technical staff at each building, and will improve the image of the district.
Thank you, Mr. Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Board,
Trustee Toth.
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education approve the contract with Final Site as our host for the district website as presented.
Motion by Trustee Toth. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Vice President Dominski. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. President Bohr?
Yes.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to item A12, adopt school of choice for the 23-24 school year. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
The Michigan legislature permits school districts to accept for enrollment non-resident students residing within the same intermediate school district. The district's proposed 23-24 operating budget incorporates school of choice as essential for consistent operating revenues and program sustainability. The recommended number of students to be accepted and the application period are attached. It is the recommendation of the superintendent and the director of business and finance that Riverview Community School District accept limited applications from non-resident students residing within the intermediate school district for enrollment in grades K through 12, face-to-face instruction, and unlimited applications for enrollment in the Riverview Virtual Academy for grades 3 through 12 for the 2023-2024 school year under the school of choice option.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Board.
Motion by Secretary Walker.
Be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education, exercising the option permitted by Section 105 of the School Aid Act of 1979, as amended by Public Act 300 of 1996, will, for the purposes of Section 105, accept limited applications of non-resident students from outside our district who reside within the Wayne-Risa ISD for enrollment in grades K to 12 face-to-face instruction and unlimited applications for enrollment in Riverview Virtual Academy in grades 3 through 12 for the 2023-2024 school year as presented.
Motion by Trustee Secretary Walker. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Meeks. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Secretary Walker? Yes. Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
President Bohr?
Yes. Next, we'll move on to guest and visitor comments for the 5-minute session. Are there any guests and visitors wishing to make comments for the 5-minute session?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ed Moss. I am a Riverview resident. What I wanted to share with you tonight is, I don't know if anybody in here is familiar with a website called niche.com, but within that, it had the rankings for each Riverview school as well as the district as a whole within the state. Overall, Riverview High School placed just 2 places short of being in the top third at 110 out of 325 public schools. Overall, it graded at a B+, with the highest grades being A- in teachers, administration, and sports, the lowest grade being a C+ in recreation facilities. As a whole, the district placed in the top 20% within the states among all of the schools, and that also includes the private schools that reside in this city as well as the public schools. Overall, the district graded at a B+. There were a plethora of activities which I will not get into, but a little bit different than from the high school or certainly the middle school or the elementary schools, which I will not mention the elementary schools because I don't want to pawn them off against one another. One of the grades for the district was a B+ in clubs and activities, just to give you an example, however. Seats Middle School graded at a B-, and there were only 3 categories for that. It had a B in diversity, a B+, I believe it was or B- in academics, and a B+ for teachers. I think everybody who knows this would be proud. I know I am proud of this, and everybody from the custodians all the way up to the school board ought to be proud of this. Of course, there's always room for improvement, and hopefully one of these years we can get Riverview to be the best school, and I don't want to leave the parent, teachers, or especially the students out of this as well. But like I said, I'm very pleased, and I look forward in the future to Riverview excelling to even greater heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moss. Any other guest and visitor comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to items for discussion presented by board members concerning which no action can be taken. I just want to say regarding the School Board Appreciation Month, the kind words from Superintendent Hatzel and the appreciation, I just want to thank him for his leadership and his progress since he took the position. I want to thank all of my fellow board members up here tonight for their dedication and hard work together as a team. It is a true privilege and an honor for us board members to work with the district, the leaders, and to serve the community, to work with Superintendent Hatzel, and to ensure our district is the best downriver for students to learn and for staff to teach. And I also, last year was a very busy year of accomplishments for the district. And this new year, we're going to continue working with Superintendent Hatzel and the administration and the staff and the kids and families to further our district's successes. I want to thank our returning board members, our two incumbents, Vice President Dominski and Secretary Walker. I want to thank Trustee O'Brien for returning to the call of service and dedicating his time and signing up for another term of service and giving back to the district. And as Mr. Moss says, we're a very proud district with many, many accomplishments. And last year was a good example of that. We, our previous superintendent, Dr. Piquel, retired. We had a great foundation of success. Mr. Hatzel was a part of that. We had the superintendent selection process. At the same time, we had our strategic plan. And we realized we have many areas of success, and we identified areas where we want to be stronger. And Mr. Moss, I believe that strategic plan is on our website. It's a summary of where we're at and where we're working forwards. It was a collaborative, stakeholder-driven process, and we will have updates occasionally as to the progress on our goals with that. Any other comments?
President Boer.
Superintendent Hatzel?
I too reiterate, thank you for sharing that. It's very important that the community knows those things, and especially hearing it from citizens. So thank you for that. And for those of you that are left in the room, I'm privileging you to this. In about 15 minutes, I've got a conference call, so stay tuned for your status of sleeping in tomorrow, but to be determined at 8 o'clock. But I figured since you stayed, you get to hear first that we're still contemplating what's going to happen. So, and again, thanks to everybody for coming out tonight.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. If there's no other board comments, we'll look at future business. Monday, February 27th, 2023, we'll have our study session. Tuesday, February 28th, 2023, we'll have our regular meeting. With that, I'll need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Dominski. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Davis. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Boer?
Yes.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming out, and meeting adjourned at 7:39.